Welcome to Say More, the podcast where we expand the conversation around what it means to be human. I'm Andy Spray, and I'm here with my co-host, Emily Lawyer, licensed professional counselor, and we're answering your real questions, and while we're at it, creating a community where we can grow together, learn how to connect more to self in order to connect more to others and more to God. Hi, Emily.
Greetings.
How are you doing?
We're doing good.
We're doing.
We're
just doing.
We're doing.
Listeners might not know this, but a couple months ago, here locally where we live in the DC area, we actually got to do a live event.
Yes, we did.
We brought Say More to the people.
It was so fantastic.
Super cool.
To be in the same room with everyone. And
we played a game. We got to do an interactive game live and in person. Very fun. We had a great time doing that. That would be cool to do more of those, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. So we got a message from that live event, and there was a comment that I really, really liked that somebody said. And she said that she really appreciated the podcast because we tackle complex and scary topics and make them approachable. And I loved that.
I do too.
Because what is scary about these concepts, and we've been heavy hitting in season 2. We've been doing a lot on shame. We've been into trauma, right? And what is scary about these things is because so often we feel alone with them. And I loved her comment. It's like, no, because Emily and I, are fully out here with you.
Absolutely.
Fighting
in real time.
Fighting the shame demons, just like the K-pop demon hunters. Okay? We're in our own lives, actively as we're going through this. So if you are listening and feeling like, oh, these scary topics, well, you don't have to be scared because we're doing it, literally we're doing it together.
Together.
So that comment really brought me such great joy. And today, speaking of, we are not really doing a complex and scary topic.
Oh, yes, and.
Yes, and.
Yes,
okay.
and.
Well, I guess scary.
Yeah.
Maybe it's everything's complex. We like to dig in. If it seems too simple, we're going to make it complex. We're going to dig. But today's topic is a little different from the shame and the trauma,
Correct.
I guess,
Correct.
is what I was going for. Today, what are we talking about?
Happiness.
Happiness.
Oh, doesn't that just feel so light and airy?
Nah. Happiness. But as Emily just, spoiler alert, turns out it might be more complicated. I did a little clinical research.
Wonderful.
And by that, I mean I conducted an Instagram poll.
Wonderful. Excellent. We're going to talk about a lot of different types of research today, actually.
I did a little
So you're kicking us off.
Last-minute Instagram poll because I wanted to know what people thought, what were sort of little things that make you happy.
To bring happiness.
Bring happiness. Because we all have them. You mentioned one the other day, an onion ring in your fries.
Yeah. Oh, right. You order fries and then unexpectedly, somehow an onion ring got dropped in there.
Happiness.
I didn't order that, but what a little gift in my day.
So here's a couple that I got. Home Goods.
Oh, the store home goods.
The store home goods.
Oh, boy.
Handwritten mail, which
No,
I agree.
I do too.
Since my grandparents have both been gone now for many years, nobody sends me mail anymore. I have not gotten a handwritten card in many moons.
And as you're naming it, grandparents and handwritten mail seems synonymous. My papa used to send a handwritten birthday card every year.
Yeah, you look forward to it.
With a stick of big red gum.
Oh, a stick of gum. That's so cute.
Yes. So, I like that one a lot.
So Christmas cards along that same line. Really good chocolates.
Really good chocolates.
Maldon salts.
Oh, you and I both.
We love that.
Maldon salts.
Emily got me Maldon salt was it just last
Maybe
year?
for Christmas? Yeah.
That was my Christmas gift. If you don't know, it's really good finishing salt. Let's see. I loved this one. The reaction that my dogs give me when I get home.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Isn't that so cozy? And then this one is definitely true for me. Wordle and connections. So we got, a variety. I'm just reading a variety of ones that would definitely be kind of universally happy. I think most people are going to feel pretty happy when they get a handwritten card.
Generally speaking.
Or when some living creature is excited to see you when you walk through the door.
Generally speaking,
Be that human or canine. But we're going to play a little game this morning.
Okay.
We're going to play a game called Hear Me Out. Okay.
Explain to us what this is about.
This is going to be Hear Me Out Happiness Edition.
Okay.
And if you aren't familiar, Hear Me Out is kind of an internet trend, frequently involving somebody unconventional that you might find attractive. Okay. So you're sort of giving your hot take of like, Hear me out. The animated Fox version of Robin Hood is an attractive person, even though he's an animated fox. So that would be a Hear Me Out.
Got it.
We are not doing it about who you find attractive.
Got it.
We are doing it for what things make you happy.
Hear Me Out Happiness Edition.
Hear Me Out Happiness Edition, because it might be an unconventional or sort of unique to you rather than a general. Obviously, everyone's going to be happy with really good chocolate, or most people. But what is I want to hear a couple of your Hear Me Out. So this is the game we're playing. I want you to be playing at home, on your walk, in your car. Hear Me Out Happiness Edition. All right, Emily, you go first.
Personal to me.
Personal to you.
And when I name these, some of you might say, what? But that's the whole point of the game.
That's the point of the game.
Hear me out.
The weirder, the better, quite honestly. I hope you're prepared to get weird.
All right, I'm going to start with one that's a little bit innocuous.
Okay.
When I tell you, though, the delight that shows up in me when this phenomenon occurs, a double yolk.
Oh, twins.
So I had this happen once where I'm always delighted by double yolk. I think it's the novelty of it. Like, you're not expecting it. But this is a memory that will be forever burned into my brain. I got out 2 eggs once, cracked it into the pan, double yolk. Cracked the other one, another double yolk.
2 sets of twins.
I took pictures.
Oh my
I texted it to everybody. It's like, look at this.
That is very exciting.
It was pretty big happiness, I got to tell you.
That one made the diary that day. Dear Journal, I got 2 double yolks in a row.
2 double yolks.
2 double yolks. Okay. Here's mine. My first one. Come with me.
Okay.
You're out of town. You're in a hotel.
Okay.
You are in the bathroom of the hotel. They've got that cool toned, bright LED lighting. You reach in your toiletry bag and you pull out your sharpest tweezers.
I was wondering where you were going to go with because I'm like,
hear me out.
LED lighting is so harsh and
it's so
awful.
harsh and awful, except it's the first time you've ever accurately seen your face. And there are eyebrow hairs where no eyebrow hairs should be. And there is a lady of a certain age chin hair that you didn't even know was growing. But you have your trusty tweezers with you. And you're just in there clearing the field. And the joy of seeing, I don't have that kind of lighting technology at home. Okay. I need to be in a hotel bathroom.
Oh boy, that's too funny.
And listen, if the people in my life would let me pluck the hairs from their face, I would.
You would do it?
Oh, 100%. Nobody in my family will let me do that, but I would, because the joy I feel to just get one. Oh, but you need the, specifically in a hotel, lighting. Okay. Your turn.
All right. Gonna get a little bit weirder.
Great.
Have you ever seen reels of children who can do freakishly accurate impressions? Maybe it's an animal noise or like I saw one a while ago. It was this 3-year-old dead on impression of a weed whacker.
No, that's hilarious.
And hilarious. Absolutely. I don't know why, but things like that just get me into fits of giggles and joy.
I like how specific that was, because I thought you were going to say like kids with British accents, which is universally adorable.
Cute.
But a kid who can make a weed whacker sound.
I'm not freakishly accurate.
Freakishly accurate. Okay.
Like, and for a while, somehow my algorithm knew that this was bringing me such joy, and it started to curate them for me.
It was just all kids making noises.
There was like a little girl who could do a lion impression. It sounded exactly like a lion. And so, yeah, that's a very specific niche genre of reels. But boy, when I come across one of those, save for later so that I can just revisit that happiness whenever I need a little boost.
I like that. Please save some of those for me.
Share them with you.
Share them with me, because I almost said the videos of people like deep cleaning rugs. So satisfying. But a kid making an accurate weed whacker, I want to know.
What if you had a reel of a kid doing an impression of a vacuum cleaner.
Joy overload is too much happiness. Okay. Hear me out.
Okay.
Have you ever had like a really crispy grape? Okay. But like it's so crunchy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, now that you
But
mention
it has to be like so like
There's a snap.
Like a snap, a sound. Quite frankly, I don't want a grape if it's even kind of soft. And I try and like feel them at the store and you can't really get a good. I want it to snap in half like a cube of ice.
Now that you mention it, there is a lot of happiness that comes with something like that.
What I would do right now for a crispy grape, I would do something.
Do you think part of what we're also like figuring out is these are things that don't happen that often?
Yes.
They're not like everyday occurrences.
Yes, right.
So maybe there's something to the happiness factor that it's not as routine.
For sure.
It's unexpected.
Yes.
There's some happiness that comes along with that part of it as well.
You're not getting a crispy grape every day. You're lucky if you get them once a year. I couldn't find a single one this year so far.
It's true. It's true. Okay, hear me out. I'm moving into the movie category.
Okay.
And this is actually one that I have already literally had to do a hear me out in order to get you to watch this movie with me.
Oh, okay.
I requested it for my birthday present this year.
I know what it is. Okay.
It's a movie named Clifford. There may be 3 people right now listening. That's probably a generous assumption.
That is a generous
2 people
statistic.
Who have heard of this movie.
Well, one of them is me, so maybe there's one in the audience who has also heard of it independently.
Hear me out. It stars Martin Short in the role of an 11-year-old who is obsessed with taking his imaginary dinosaur Stefan to Dinosaur World. I mean, already, right? You're wanting to run to YouTube and rent this for your weekend entertainment. It is so weird and so goofy and so ridiculous. And I saw it when I was in high school, and it brings me immense happiness.
It does bring you great joy. You bestowed this.
You got to watch me feeling so happy watching it.
We got to watch you watching Clifford.
You did, because
we were all like, huh? I hear you out. I hear you. But I don't. You have the immense joy that comes with Clifford.
Boy, I do.
Okay, well, I'm glad you moved us into media because my next one is TV related.
Okay.
So listen, we all have our comfort TV shows. Mm-hmm. You got your Parks and Recs, you've got your Gilmore Girls. I know both of us, if you're feeling low, we're going to Stars Hollow.
We love it.
But my Hear Me Out is one you've heard me say many times over the years. Hear Me Out, Detective Lenny Briscoe.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay.
You have had to do a Hear Me Out on this one.
Hear Me Out. The only acceptable Law and Order, not the only acceptable, the only one I want to watch is original Law and Orders, but from the 90s.
From the 90s.
Has to be from the 90s. Mm-hmm. And it has to be when Jerry Orbach was playing the character Detective Lenny Briscoe, which went on for, 10 plus seasons. Okay. And some people find comfort in, Pawnee, Indiana.
Uh-huh. I do.
find comfort in a gritty back alley of, the Battery City Park or whatever. He's solving crimes. I do have my preference for his partner, but I can be flexible there. But it has to be him. It has to be Detective Lenny Briscoe solving crimes. It is my true comfort TV show. I've seen every episode that he's been in 100 times. I always know who the killer is. It's very formulaic, and I like that. And he's out there cracking wise and making comments, and that is my ultimate
happiness.
That is my true happiness.
There is happiness associated with that for you.
Deep happiness. I just like, ooh, okay, which one's it gonna be? Ooh. And it has to be 90s, and it has to be the original.
So this is what we're talking about, everybody listening. When we're naming types of things that bring happiness that is uniquely personal to you.
Special to me.
This is the level of detail that we're getting into.
I have not met any other Lenny Briscoe stans. Maybe they're out there.
I don't know that I've met anybody else who likes Clifford. So,
well, there you go.
There we go. Okay, let's keep going with the media. I'm going to move a little more into art.
Okay.
And I'm going to offer an honorable mention first before I get to my actual happiest place. I think it's my Disneyland. This thing I'm getting ready to name is my happiest place on earth. Honorable mention would be a Weird Al concert.
Oh, yes.
You know how much I love live music.
Love, yes.
So even just being at a live music venue, being at a concert, there's already a level of happiness that exists for me. If we're moving into upper echelons of happiness, I do love me some Weird Al.
She loves Weird Al. That is not a front. That is very authentic.
I love a pun. I love a goofy wordplay, a goofy turn of phrase. Now, if we kept going, though, my absolute most favorite live music place to be is with my fellow My Morning Jacket fans.
Okay.
It's a band from my hometown in Louisville. They've been described as a jam band for people who don't like jam bands.
That's a good branding.
And when I am there, it gives me a little extra permission to let my inner hippie come out. My Morning Jacket fans are very free. They're freewheeling. Everybody there is chill. Everybody there is just vibing to the music. You want to dance. It's just so joyous.
I would argue they were not dressed as well as the people we saw this summer at the Weird Al concert. Because we did see Weird Al this summer. It was great. My first time seeing him, not your first time seeing him. But people came to play with the costumes, and I like that. My guess is the My Morning Jacket crowd.
Well, sometimes they show up in costume as well, even if the situation doesn't occur.
Okay.
Or doesn't call for it. Yes. But yeah, I think, honestly, I've seen them many, many times. I am
That's your true happy place.
Blissfully happy.
That's your true
for that
happy
2.5 hours. Yeah.
Okay, hear me out. Maps as entertainment.
You're going to have to really work for this one.
No, I don't have to work for it because if you know, you know. I could sit down and look at an atlas and be fully engrossed and entertained.
For hours.
For hours. It does not have to be a place that I've been. This actually ties into my last Hear Me Out because when I'm watching Law & Order and they gunk and they put an address on, I'm like, oh, 86 in Columbus. That's the Upper West Side. And I look it up on my phone and I look at the map on my phone because I'm just, I don't know. I've always liked geography and capitals, and I had like learning toys as a kid. If it wasn't obvious, I got geography learning toys. But to me, maps are fully entertainment. Whether it's Google Maps, whether Google Earth, of course, that's like high level. But I could literally look at a fold-out traffic map, like a road map,
and be happy.
Entertained.
Well, tell everybody what I say is your greatest party trick that's along with that, your Animaniacs song.
Oh, if you are familiar with the Animaniacs song where he sings all the nations of the world. Now, it's outdated. If you're a true geography nerd, you're going to want me to say that. But I can sing that song and name all the countries of the world.
Start to finish. It's
start
impressive.
to finish. I won't do it right now, but I can do it. And if you ask me to, I will do it. And I've impressed many a party with that because, maps are entertaining. That's my Hear Me Out.
Brings you happiness. Yeah. All right, last one for me. This one is has some nostalgia also associated with it. A tomato and mayonnaise sandwich.
Oh.
That is only tomatoes from my dad's garden.
That's sweet.
My dad grows the best tomatoes. We say it's partially the pH balance of the Indiana soil, but I think really what it is my dad's tomatoes taste the best because they've had to struggle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he poured a little sugar in the dirt.
No. Some people's gardens are meticulously cultivated, meticulously groomed. That's not how we do it out in the country in Indiana. You plant your tomatoes, you do, put a cage up around, and then you just let them try to grow, and they are the best. And you get that with a tomato and mayonnaise sandwich, copious amounts of salt, Maldon flaky sea salt if you want.
Amazing.
And I am...
What kind of bread?
Only white bread.
Toasted?
Yeah, it depends on your mood.
Okay.
Either way, I am going to be such a happy girl.
If you're eating that on your way to a My Morning Jacket concert with Clifford playing in the background, forget it.
Levitating.
Your head would explode. All right, I'm going to end my Hear Me Out with Do you have a favorite pen that you feel deep allegiance to?
Oh.
Because I'm telling you, I'm holding mine
yours?
in my hand. I'm talking about the Papermate 1.0 profile ball. Has to be blue ink. Don't even come with black ink. Get out of here. Unless I'm writing a card, in which case I want the ultra fine tip Sharpie, and that can be black.
Okay.
Or really must be black. However, I like the way this pen glides. I buy it in bulk. I carry them with me. I have them next to my bed at home. I like the way it feels in my hand.
I don't think and you have such immaculate handwriting, and I don't think I ever knew this about you.
Thank you. It is one of my top 5 skills. My husband likes the really fine point black inky pens. Hate them.
No.
I will chuck it out. I don't. When I need to write something, and that's what I find, I will throw it out the way. I hate those pens. I want a nice, glidey, blue ink special pen. So I'm holding my favorite pen. Maybe you are someone who does not have a special pen, and you're like, was this a game about happiness, or was this a game about diagnosing certain conditions? You don't know. We're doing all kinds of things here.
We're happy to say there's overlap.
There's overlap.
It's a both and.
But it brings me joy. This special pen brings me joy. Your tomato sandwiches bring you joy. Mm-hmm. We're getting into happiness. Let's get into our question. All right. Our question this week came in the form of an email, so I'm going to go ahead and read that. I feel like this world pushes us to constantly make changes. Life, work, homes, cars, relationships, etc. Is it wrong to always want something bigger, better, newer, and so on?
And so on.
Here we go.
All right, let's flesh out the question just a little bit because there's a couple of parts to it. And as we say often, thank you so much to those of you who are submitting your questions, because your vulnerability is allowing all of us to connect more to ourselves, to kind of be compassionately curious together. The first part of this question is an acknowledgement. It's saying, all right, I look to my left, I look to my right, all around me, it seems like most everybody is chasing after bigger, better, newer. So right off the start, we're saying, all right, this is the water we're swimming in. This is the air that we breathe. This is what's around us. And then the second part of the question is saying, is it wrong to want that? I'm looking around and I'm seeing what everybody is wanting and what everybody is chasing after. Is it wrong for me to want that too? So we distilled a little bit from this question. We kind of read between the lines a little bit and said, all right, what would even be our motivation for wanting something bigger, better, newer? Generally, we're looking for happiness. Generally, we're chasing some sort of joy, some sort of happiness. And so what we're doing in this episode today is we're saying, what would it look like for us to be curious together about what this question is asking? Is it wrong for me to want to pursue happiness? And what does it look like to pursue happiness, especially when the signals that I'm picking up around me tell me that the way to pursue happiness is by chasing after more, newer, bigger, better.
Bigger, better, yeah.
So let's just start with looking at happiness as an emotion itself, because it's an emotion. So like we've said in other episodes, an emotion is an indicator, and happiness is the same as any other emotion that's an indicator, like anger or sadness or fear. It's a physiological response to either an internal stimuli or an external stimuli. It's a reflection. Categorically speaking, we put it in the grouping of joy. And so joy emotions would be joy, happiness, thankfulness, delight. We even put excitement into that category. All of those emotions kind of give us the data or the signal that we're experiencing some sort of gain.
Yeah. When you say that, I'm curious, like, because I know sometimes even in the game we were playing, we were sort of using joy and happiness interchangeably. And I know they're not the same thing.
No.
So how would you define the difference between those two?
Yeah, and some people, sometimes I've heard it said that joy is a reflection of when there is an internal stimuli. Could be something that is associated with my beliefs or associated with what I'm rooted in. Mm-hmm. Whereas happiness sometimes is a reflection of a stimuli that's more external.
Right. I've heard people say like happiness is circumstantial and joy is not. Would you agree with that?
You could say that.
Okay.
I think probably where I land is where we often go in this podcast. It's a both and.
Okay.
In that there is, both of those fit into the criteria of what happens when we feel an emotion. And then just like with other emotions, based on my own label that I assign to it, that's also going to kind of affect what joy feels like for me or what happiness feels like for me. Okay. Similar to what we've said in things feeling different between annoyance and irritation or anger. There are ways that we can put some generalized categories around it. And then there's also going to be a very personal aspect that happens with the attributes that we put onto it. So let's explore some of those because you just brought up a really good one. One of those personalized attributes that can sometimes happen with joy and happiness stems from faith communities. And sometimes we might even start to develop this belief or this label that it's wrong to want to be happy because it's more virtuous or it's more altruistic to be somber or to be self-flagellating. It's my favorite line from The Simpsons where, rest in peace, Maude Flanders. Spoiler alert for those of you who don't watch this. Poor Maude, she meets an untimely death.
She does.
And there's a statue that's erected of Maude, and the plate at the bottom of the statue says, "To Maude Flanders, who taught us the shame and joy and the joy and shame."
Joy and shame. God bless Maude.
God bless Maude. So sometimes that can be an attribute that we put onto happiness.
In faith communities.
That
it would be shameful almost or negative to be.
To even feel happiness.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sometimes I've heard people say things like, God doesn't want us to be happy, he wants us to be holy.
Yes, I've heard that one too.
And both of those things are true. There is holiness that we are to pursue. When I look at Scripture, we see a lot of blessed is the man, blessed is the woman, which also seems to indicate that God is invested in our happiness.
Oh,
that God is invested in even the pursuit of happiness and joy and delight. So sometimes I think when we hear things like that, we take on these attributes or these labels and start to live more in an either or and say, well, then it might be bad for me to feel happiness.
Do you think people are saying it's bad to feel happiness or it's bad to pursue happiness?
Both.
Both, okay.
Sometimes if the belief starts with it's bad to want to pursue happiness,
then
it ends up turning into it's bad to just feel happy at all.
Because I definitely have seen that's so fleeting, that's so frivolous that you would pursue that. That's not what we're here to pursue.
Yes. And you know what? We even have a diagnosable term that people have come up with. It's called cherophobia. And it's the fear of feeling happiness.
What?
So
really?
It can, yes, absolutely. So it can even kind of continue or intensify to the point where it becomes almost a phobic level of fear. Now, there's also, we might have a relationship with happiness that's formed out of our stories. So sometimes let's say, for example, if I've grown up in a household where there's constant upheaval, sometimes what gets associated together with happiness is, well, anytime I feel happiness, at some point the other shoe is going to drop and I'm going to feel fear, or I'm going to feel devastation, or I'm going to feel shame. And so again, in sort of a protective way, our system starts to put a label that says to feel happiness is a bad thing, because when I feel happiness, something bad is just around the corner. So that might be another reason.
The other shoe is going to drop.
The other shoe is going to drop. So that might be another reason one of those labels or those attributes gets put onto happiness that tells us it's wrong to feel it. It's wrong to want to feel it. It's wrong to want to pursue that. We're created with the capacity to feel happiness. And so if what we're saying, we're saying it's possible to feel happiness because we're created with that capacity, it's achievable to feel happiness, even Scripture supports that, then why are so many of us not happy?
Right.
To our question, if I have all these things, if I have the newer car, if I have the better job, if I have more money in my bank account, if I have the newer house.
I took the better vacation. I got the promotion.
Right.
And on the other side of it,
if
was
I
not
have
more
all those
happiness.
things, why am I not more consistently happy? This is where I think we can start to dig into it a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if it's because of the way we pursue it. It's not as much the pursuit of it, but how do we go about pursuing it?
Okay.
Where do I go to try to find it? Just like our question says, if we just live in this culture, we've sort of picked up that the way to become happy is primarily through changing an external circumstance. And happiness does result from that. It's an external stimuli. Sustainably, does happiness result from that? I think we're going to find no.
Okay.
Consistently, can happiness be found in that? I think we're probably going to find probably not. So that brings us to the question then, well, what do I do to maintain happiness?
Yeah. How do I get there?
What is, if pursuing the newer, better, faster is less sustainable, then what do I do?
Yeah.
I heard a study when I was in grad school that I have referred to often. And what these people did in this research is they wanted to kind of see if there were any common denominators for people who reported a general sense of well-being or a general sense of consistent happiness. So in this study, they're looking at what does it look like to be fundamentally or consistently happy. And here's what they found.
Okay.
People who reported that had 3 common denominators. They reported a general sense of manageability. They reported a general sense of purpose. And they reported a general sense of meaning.
Can you explain what manageability
So
is?
yes, let's break those down. So what this research was telling us is, okay, purpose, meaning, and manageability.
Okay. And purpose and meaning almost feel the same. So, why don't you just go through all 3 of these?
Okay. So manageability would look like, bottom line, manageability looks like not controlling my circumstances, but controlling self.
Yes. Okay.
What do I do with my thoughts? What do I do with my emotions? What do I do with my behaviors, my allegiances?
How much control does emotion have over me?
Over me.
Yeah. Okay. How much is it driving my bus?
How much, everything that we work with, and everything that, if you're in this same work community that we've all been growing in and working to develop, fits into this manageability piece. Am I able to set boundaries with my time? Am I able to say no?
Well,
Am I able to create margin? Am I able to directly communicate what I need? Can I resolve conflict in a way that I'm able to stay connected to the other person? All of these things would fit into that category of manageability.
So managing yourself.
Managing self.
You're not out of control with your emotions, with your behavior, with your fill in the blank.
Yes. And how confident do I feel in being able to do that? How skilled do I feel in being able to do that?
Equipped, maybe.
How equipped, that's a great word for it. How equipped do I feel in being able to do that? Sometimes I'll also name that manageability piece as being at peace with myself, being at peace with others, and being at peace with God. Because if I'm able to manage myself in all those things, then I'm going to be able to reach a sense of peace in all of those relationships. And when I say peace, I mean acceptance. It doesn't mean that I have to like it. It doesn't mean that I'm thrilled about everything that's happening in what I'm feeling or what my calendar has or what's going on. What it is saying is I'm able to step into a place of acceptance that that's the reality that is happening, and I'm able to maneuver through the emotional response that might be coming along with that reality.
And that would be still under the category of manageability?
And I would still kind of flesh that out as just another way of explaining what manageability looks and feels like.
So living in reality, because I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly, living in reality and accepting the reality,
yes,
even if you don't like it.
Yes.
And then being able to, I don't know if function is the right word, but function inside of that acceptance and reality.
That's exactly it.
Would be a hallmark of manageability.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
And this research, this empirical data, is telling us that people who report a general sense of happiness also have a high level of manageability. So there is correlation.
Okay. So manageability was the first one you said.
Manageability is the first one.
So high levels of manageability.
High levels of manageability.
From the people who are saying they consistently feel happy.
Correct. Okay. Correct. Now I'm going to bring even some additional data into it.
Bring it.
Science continues to confirm what Scripture tells us to be true about this and where happiness can be found. Harvard just completed and released the findings from maybe the longest longitudinal study that was ever conducted about happiness.
Okay.
It started in 1938, and they tracked over 85 years.
Okay, see, when you said longitude, I was back to maps.
Okay, same sort of thing, though.
Okay.
It's like,
but
over time.
Right? No, I'm right. Following.
Okay.
But over time, longitudinally,
they tracked the lives of over 700 men.
Okay.
Later, it expanded to wives and children. But I think the fact that it primarily was getting data from what men report about happiness makes the data even more powerful. Because do you know what they found in this longitudinal study? The quality of relationships is the strongest predictor of happiness, more than social class, more than IQ, even more than genetics. And when we're naming that, I think that
interesting.
That goes hand in hand with this other data that I'm bringing in, right? Yes. The manageability piece.
Everything right now is the male loneliness epidemic and all the unhappiness that flows from that. But if you are not in good, healthy relationships, then you're not going to have the byproduct, as you were saying, of happiness.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
And being able to foster and facilitate those types of relationships requires a high level of manageability.
So to even be a participant in those relationships, you have to have the manageability piece.
Yes.
And if we're chronically missing the manageability piece, which you didn't say that, I'm assuming that that's what you're, but if we're missing that manageability piece, we're not going to be in these satisfying relationships, which means we're not going to have the byproduct of feeling happy.
Of happiness. So whenever we're looking at that, yes, we're saying, okay, this then is what it starts to look like to quote unquote pursue happiness. I'm not pursuing it directly.
Yeah.
I'm pursuing manageability, purpose, and meaning, and then happiness and joy shows up as a byproduct, as a reflection of that.
So if I'm pursuing manageability, purpose, and what was the third one? Meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Manageability, purpose, and meaning. That if that's my pursuit, then the byproduct
is going to be happiness, which is much different than trying to directly
chase happiness
through the external circumstances. All right. So if we keep going with, well, let's flesh out, well, what is purpose? What is purpose and meaning? Again, you're going to find different definitions for that. The one that I like to use is when I'm able to step into something that's bigger than myself. Some people like to name it as where my gifting or talent intersects with the world's great need. As a Jesus follower, personally, my highest purpose is to know God and to make God known. So that's my North Star. That's my due north on my compass. Every role that I'm in, every choice that I make, every way that I want to show up in my relationships, how I want to handle my emotions, all of that is going to funnel towards that purpose of knowing God more and making God known more. Now, people listening, you might, find your own sense of purpose or meaning in that. But that's what it would look like for me. If there's anything in my past or my unresolved pain or my personality that's getting in the way of that purpose, then again, that's going to be something that I'm going to work towards owning, work towards healing. If there's something that feels unmanageable for me, then that's something I'm going to be working towards to heal that so that that purpose and that meaning can show up more fully. And that may change. My roles might change in my lifetime. Relational seasons are going to come and go. My ability to do certain things might look different.
Right.
Circumstances might look different, right? But the purpose and the meaning and the capacity to manage myself in all of that is what's going to stay steady, or what I'm wanting to try to keep steady. And then out of that, happiness is showing up as a byproduct. So if we kind of say that in a couple of different ways, that happiness is a byproduct, right?
Say more. Okay, you could say it again, because I think we all want that to really sink in.
To really sink in. And again, we can go to Scripture, because Scripture supports that. It doesn't say, blessed is the one who seeks blessedness, right? It says, blessed is the one who pursues righteousness.
Peacemaker.
Blessed is the one who is a peacemaker. Blessed are those who mourn, right? So it's all of these ways that I'm actually, my highest goal, my highest priority is to move towards that manageability, that purpose, and that meaning. And then happiness happens as a byproduct. Because instead, if I say my highest goal is to have a happy marriage, or if I say my highest goal is to have a successful career, that's what I'm putting all my energy towards. The anxiety and stress that will come from trying to control that is going to pollute any happiness that might be found.
Right.
Once I catch the car.
Right. Once you finally get the thing you wanted, you have stressed out and whatever, all the resources to even get there that you can't even access that.
You can't even access it. So it's almost like the more I pursue it that way, the more I'm going to miss the mark.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
We might say it as, if I seek manageability, purpose, and meaning instead of happiness, I'm going to end up getting both.
Yeah. Okay.
If I seek happiness instead of purpose, meaning, and manageability, I'm going to get neither.
Yeah.
Right? So the irony is that the less I'm concerned about getting the happiness, the less I'm concerned about controlling, I've got to be happy, the more I pursue purpose, meaning, and manageability instead, the more happiness I'm probably going to be able to experience.
Right. And I just am thinking about like the sense of purpose and meaning and manageability just being so much more long lasting versus, like, back to our question, she's talking about your house and your car, and like those things are so temporary.
Yes.
And it's not that you can't feel happiness in getting a house or updating things or whatever. That's great joy is found in a home decorating project or a new car. Or a vacation. Listen, I love all those things, but pursuing that I just think of, it's just so temporary. So even if you were able to access the happiness of it, you're going to it's going to be gone.
It's going to be gone.
And the manageability and the relationships you were talking about and the purpose and obviously working towards something bigger than yourself. I like when you said about purpose, it's like where your gifting intersects with the world's
great need.
The world's great needs. Where it's like how satisfying that would be and how long-term that sense would be rather than I, got another whatever amount on my paycheck.
I got a new
this
iPhone.
Month. I got a new iPhone.
I got the newest upgrade. And so then, yes, when we're going about it that way, well, now these other external circumstantial details, they can sit where they've always been designed to sit. It's sort of the cherry on top.
Yeah.
It's an add-on.
Yeah, it's an add-on. So it's not wrong to enjoy them and
they're gifts.
They're gifts and feel happy about them. But if they are the goal, you're going to lose both things.
I'm going to end up losing both. So if we kind of finish with some closing, last encouraging thoughts. When we are pursuing this, it is an intentional pursuit. And the one thing about, even if I'm rooted in purpose, meaning, and manageability, do you know the one thing that disrupts all that? Change, transitions.
Oh, okay.
So there are going to be times in life where those things get disrupted a little bit. I mean, I'm kind of going through that a little bit myself right now. I'm troubleshooting some health stuff, and I had to cut out caffeine for about the last month.
Awful.
And when I tell you I went into a full-blown depression, I
know.
Really. And then when that happened, what did I start doing? I started trying to white knuckle other external sources of happiness. My windows aren't clean. I need to clean my windows.
Interesting.
Right? And so I had to really kind of refine my footing. And it exposed to me, okay, maybe I think the needle has drifted a little bit off course, Emily. You maybe were pursuing more of your happiness in some of these external circumstances and staying caffeinated all the time. And then when I wasn't able to access that anymore, it kind of let me recognize, all right, let me adjust a little bit, refine my footing. What do I actually want to put the majority of my energy towards?
Right.
Developing that purpose, meaning, and manageability. That's where I want to be rooted.
As you would say, that's good data for you.
That's good data for me.
When you turned into a monster without your caffeine, that was good data for you.
Yes. And these things this is what's going to happen as we're moving along these journeys together. And so when that gets disrupted, when things kind of get knocked off their footing a little bit, can I, again, with compassion, with curiosity, be able to say, all right, let me take a step back. Let me look at where I'm actually putting the majority of my energy. And then let me intentionally choose to put more of that energy towards these things that are going to end up allowing me to have more consistent, sustainable happiness and joy. And then the other things can be added on.
And then you'll go to a concert and really be able to have a good time.
Right.
And you're going to get the crunchiest grape of your life. But if you're chasing that high, you're chasing the dragon of a crispy grape.
Yeah.
You're going to end up not achieving either. Again, back to that purpose thing. I just love thinking that there's a sense of purpose to whatever I'm going through, whatever I'm good at, whatever I'm capable of, and intersecting that with what's going on and the need in the world. And just think of like what a better use of our chasing efforts. So I'm going to be chewing. That's something I'm going to be chewing on that we talked about today. And there's so much more. And it's not wrong to enjoy that happiness. What a gift. Like you said, it gets to sit in the place it was always designed to sit. That it is not wrong and it is not bad, but it can just be enjoyed for enjoyment's sake.
Yeah.
And isn't that a great thing? And I'm so glad you're here with us and we enjoy getting to do this podcast together. This has been a great source of joy for both Emily and I recently. And we're so glad you're here with us. And listen, we want you to say more. We want to hear more from you. We want to hear your questions. We want to make sure we're talking about the things that are important in your world and in your orbit and what's going on in your life. So make sure you are sending us a message. You can check out the show notes. There's social media. There's email. There's all kinds of things. But we are looking forward to going along with you and finding happiness. And may there be some happiness in your week. We'll see you next time.